Hi guys, welcome back to Elena's Barre, low impact full body workouts. We are full house today with Melody and Piquet. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. We started talking about food and ingredients. It's a very interesting and very deep topic. We already talked about Ayurveda and dosha. So if you haven't done the test yet, check it out on the website. Go to Ayurveda and do the test, determine your dosha, and then watch our seminars about Ayurveda and what foods you should eat and what food you should avoid. Today we are going to talk about the specific ingredients that you should try to avoid. And if you see the signs on the food, this is what you should watch out to, right, Melody? Okay, let's tell us a little bit about those ingredients that you've mentioned before.
Well, yeah, pretty much. I mean, ideally, you want whole plant-based foods are the best things. And within that, you want things that tend to be from like the reproductive structures. Like we're not cows or sheep, like we're not meant to eat grass, but we're not also not designed to eat meat, but we're certainly not designed to eat like polysorbate 80 or maltodextrin, even, things like that, which I think maltodextrin is basically like a super refined cornstarch. So a lot of these additives, even the ones that do come from natural products, it's like as soon as you start kind of refining those and either adding certain things or taking out certain things, our bodies just really don't know how to handle it. And it can have some like very negative effects. We were talking about some of the emulsifiers and stuff that are food additives that are meant to basically emulsifier like kind of makes like something that's like water based and something that's oil based like blend together better. So you can give like a little like smoother, like creamier consistency to foods. You just need like the tiniest little amount to like have that effect. And unfortunately it also has like the same type of effect as it's passing through your alimentary canal, specifically like the colon and large intestine. And they found that with Crohn's disease and stuff, there's certain bacteria, there's a name's not coming to mind, but there's a certain strain of E. coli that just does a lot of damage to your intestinal wall and stuff and can cause a lot of inflammation. And normally it'll kind of like, be in a certain area and it doesn't like translocate and move around super easily. But if you have these emulsifiers, it basically creates an environment where these bacteria can just kind of freely move around wherever because of the physical nature of, what they're moving through, which is what you ate earlier. And so like even small amounts of foods like that can have like a pretty marked effect on what's going on. And yeah, basically, and I'm certainly not, we're talking about like sugar too, and I eat sugar, I like sweets, but I'm not gonna like sit here and be like, oh yeah, that's great. I mean, certainly like things that are sweet potatoes, there's a lot of like great healthy foods that naturally taste sweet, but they have a bunch of fiber, and they've got a bunch of minerals, and they've got, they're a whole food, they're like a whole package. And when you have just a refined sugar, it's very depleted of minerals, and it's just like too quick of an energy. It's like crack to your body because our bodies are designed to run on glucose, and that's the main energy source. And even when we eat like fats or proteins, your body's going to turn that into glucose and use it, either use it for energy or store it as fat. And so yeah, when you get something like just refined sugar that's a super quick, like readily available source of energy for the cells, like just like jackpot, and you get a little dopamine rush. And so you get, there's chemical addictions that go on too with just about every food that you eat. Part of that, like they're just starting to learn more about kind of gut bacteria and how they are almost kind of calling the shots in terms of your craving. And like whatever you eat most, even if it's not healthy, like you're going to have larger populations of those bacteria in your gut. And then when they're like not get enough food, they kind of like use your nervous system as like their little phone hotline to the brain, like, hey, I want more of this stuff. Like that's a lot of times why big diet changes can be difficult, because it's, even if you have the willpower, like the gut bacteria, like a lot of the cells in our body are not us. And so that's like something that we don't really think about, but they're not just there, like they are having an impact and somehow communicating with our cells and sometimes calling the shots. So yeah, it's a super complicated issue to get into. I think, yeah, we're really just breaking the surface in terms of the research and knowledge available so far. So it's an interesting field, though.
It's a very good topic. Sugar is a very good example, as you said, Melody, that we all eat. We all have a craving for sugar, and especially the holidays are coming. You can see people satisfy their craving with chocolate, with sweets, and so many other things.
Well, a lot of it is psychological. When people are feeling bored, why would you go for sugar? You should always ask yourself this question. And is it because you're bored? Is it because you have nothing else to do, nobody to talk to?
There are multiple reasons for this. One of the main reasons is it's very easily accessible.
True.
You go to the market, you pick it up. If you are home, there's some kind of a sugar, chocolate or something in your refrigerator, in your closet or something, where you go to somebody's house, they give you cookies or sweets or something. You'll see it's just donuts, muffins, everything is sugar. And our main job, I know it's harder. I'm going to explain it to you why. I know it's very hard, but it can be done. To get away from sugar is like getting away from heroin or marijuana or something like this. It's hard. But what you can do, whatever you cook, whatever you make it sugar-free first. And try a spoon of it. And if you think you need a little bit sweetness in it, add some honey into it, which is real sugar. Like Melody explained, sweet potatoes has natural sugar in it. They are good, they're healthy, so is honey. So honey, with the benefit is you can control how much you want to add. You add a little bit of, mix it up, eat it and see how it tastes. If that's enough for you to satisfy your craving, just go with it. What happens when you eat again, then you add little less of honey. Third time you add little more less of it. Eventually you'll see you'll be like me, eating without sugar.
Guys, you have two ways. You have two ways, and I tried both actually. I tried to immediately cut out all sugar, and it worked for a very short time until I binged on sweets again. It was in my 20s when I was back in Europe studying. And then I realized that my body needs something more substantial than sugar. So I started working out. I became a fitness instructor, and the load on my bones and on my body structure was so hard that sugar didn't cover it anymore, so I had to change my diet, and I had to change it drastically. So I just stopped buying sweets. Whenever I see the aisle, usually they have specific aisle, it's in the center of the store. That's where the most traffic is. You're right, it's very accessible, so people tend to go there. But if you loop around the perimeter, they tend to have healthier stuff there, so they tend to have veggies, they have milk, they have meats, and fruits, vegetables. So if you just loop around the store, don't go into the center, because this is where all of the artificial stuff is, and I used to shop around, and I just stopped buying it. Occasionally I buy bread, but I check if it's sourdough and how much sugar it has, what are the ingredients. I tend to maybe pay a little more for that bread, but I know that it doesn't have a lot of sugar. It still does, because it's starch, but at the same time, it could be worse, when you look at all of the candies. And so you do need some carbohydrates, but just make them healthy, you know, replace the apples, eat more fruits, you know, eat more vegetables as well.
And we all know, Elena, that carbohydrates are converted into sugar eventually anyway by the body, you know.
Yeah, but you need, if you are
So
exercising, you need the energy, you know, to
immediate thing.
Yeah.
So
but you also want like a kind of a slow release energy, ideally something like like beans and barley is just like great. Like I
good
eat
example.
those and I can just go all day doing. I do, you know, construction and agricultural work, which is, you know, I mean, pretty much as physically demanding as it gets in the modern world. I've never had a problem, but I mean, I do like, could I do that all day on a Snickers bar? Like, oh no, like no. But
no.
you
This
know,
is what I'm saying.
big bowl of like high carbohydrate, high protein, high fiber, you know, beans and grains are you know, it'll keep you going all day. Like but sugars, just the refined stuff, and sometimes like I don't know, I've found like, and I always say about just like not buying them, because like typically if I like buy a box of Oreos or something, I'm gonna bring them home, and then like throughout the next couple days they're just gonna be like, oh, I'm feeling kind of peckish, maybe I'll have another Oreo or two, you know, and they're gone like within a couple of days.
They're gone really fast.
So sometimes like if I'm just like, especially if I've like, I don't know, been like working really hard, I just like want a little, you know, candy snack. I love black licorice, so like sometimes I'll just get like one of those like, you know, more natural black licorice, where it's just like wheat flour, molasses, and like licorice extract, and like, you know, it's not that bad. It's actually like pretty high in iron. It's got some protein, like, but it's also got that like, you know, glucose that my body's like, you know, wanting. And so sometimes like when you do get those sugar cravings, especially if you've had like a strenuous day and your body's maybe trying to tell you like, hey, I need more, like you've been working me really hard and not fueling up. There's ways to like get that sweet fix, you know, through fruits, especially like dried fruits, like, you know, can be, I mean, depending on if you're like watching your weight, or, you know, if you're like got blood sugar issues, because those are again pretty concentrated sugar, and you don't have the water to kind of like fill you up. So I mean, normally you wouldn't sit there and just eat like a half dozen apricots in like 1 minute, but you can easily eat like a half dozen dried apricots per minute, and you know, that's can be a little much sugar. But so I think also like finding ways, if your body is telling you something, like find a way to give it what it's wanting, but be like, no, I'm actually the one calling the shots, and we're gonna make a healthy choice here, you know, like like I hear you, like I know that you want this, but like we have all these options in the world, and so like let's find something that's going to do the least amount of harm, you know.
That's it. And whenever we go for the foods what we want to eat, the one thing you should look for is look at our body. You know, our body is made up of 70% water, right? So whatever we eat should be in that ratio, you know, roughly. Like fruits have 90% water, vegetables have 70% water, grains have 50% water. So whatever we are eating, look at it roughly and see if the combination of whatever you are eating has 70% water. That's the main thing we are looking for, you know.
And sometimes if you are craving something sweet, can mean that you are just thirsty, and you can just get yourself a glass of water and see if it helps, if the craving goes away, because oftentimes we get mixed up signals of what we are actually experiencing. A lot of people don't actually experience thirst per se, you know, they have this kind of craving for something, but you can't really distinguish between whether you are thirsty, like really thirsty, that you will binge on water, right? Or it's just something happens, some chemistry happens in your brain that is kind of a mixed signal that you don't know what it is, you know? And then try to drink some water. Maybe it will help, and it will push that craving away, you know?
Water does help. Sometimes we have digested food in our body and it's not been absorbed because we don't have enough water in it. It's not liquid enough to be absorbed through
Yeah.
the system. So it's just waiting and it giving us a signal. It's telling us drink water, but we think
Yeah.
it's hunger,
It's
we
hunger,
need
exactly.
more.
Sometimes your brain
Yeah,
just plays various tricks
confused.
with you.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
this is what I'm saying, guys, you need to exercise, because the more
yeah.
you exercise, the tendency
You
is
drink
you
more.
will be more thirsty and you will
Yeah,
drink maybe enough water. You know?
yeah, that's
Most
the
Maybe.
people
key.
don't drink enough water. They don't.
That's
Oh,
the
it's,
key, Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I
Right
think
after I come from running, what I do in few minutes, I drink water because body tells me, or psychologically, I know I have to drink water because I sweat out a lot of water already.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy.
yeah, I
Melody,
think
what do you
that's a
say?
big part is like the psychological, you're like, working hard and so you're drinking water, like, because yeah, when I'm like on the elliptical or like my Nordic track or something, like even if I'm not like super thirsty or sweaty, like I'm sipping water the whole time, because it's like, well, that's what you do when you are doing cardio, like you stay
Yes.
hydrated. Whereas
Yeah.
like if I'm, just doing whatever out and about doing errands, I'm not like sipping water as I'm driving around and stuff. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
so yeah,
Sometimes
and
it's
also
hard to,
like just
yeah.
like it's pretty shocking. It's something like, a lot of it's due to diet, but like 1 in 4 adults in America has like impaired kidney function, and
Yeah.
it's one of those things like you typically don't realize until like it's so far impaired that like it's just really not good. But yeah, and you can live for years with like impaired kidney function. And they're actually finding now there are ways you can improve kidney function through diet. Before they kind of thought it's like you just kind of lose it gradually over time. Now they're finding like no, through diet you can actually like maintain it or even like improve it somewhat. But certainly even without like diet changing, just like drinking enough water is it's just a kind thing to do to your kidneys. Like they work nonstop 24/7, and like they're just like a really like overlooked, like underappreciated,
Yeah.
little set of organs that
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, just do incredible work to like keep us healthy and like remove toxins and things that we don't need. Like, we overconsume and like eat. Oh, my little alarm's going off.
Yeah.
Our body needs to get rid of it, and it's a lot of it's the liver and kidneys working together to accomplish that. But yeah, because of that, usually by the time people are in their like 50s, 60s, 70s, their kidneys are just shot, even if they're not feeling the effects.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's
definitely
why,
drinking more
yeah,
water helps.
that's why the body is not able to give us signals when it needs water, As we get older, maybe kidneys are short, and we don't know. But as the two things we have to watch, one is those who are smaller bodies, like you two and me, we both are small bodies, and we have to drink water more often because we cannot afford to have a less water than 70% our body needs than person who is bigger, because the body is not giving us signals. So we have to drink more often water than somebody who is bigger. And the second thing is that we have to exercise, because with exercise, body regulates itself, the thirst, whenever you come back from exercising, you'll see first you drink water, then another hour or two, you drink more water.
Yeah.
Because for 2, 3 hours, what happens? You saturate yourself with water. That's what we need. Without having the kidney functioning well, we can still do it by exercising
And then
and by drinking it more often.
another important issue is if you don't drink enough water, your body becomes dehydrated. You can have not just kidney problems, but headaches.
Yeah, right.
Like in this area, in front or one side, the other side that is hurting you, especially in the eye area. You can have all sorts of problems if you are lacking water in your organism.
Yeah, the dizziness and all these are the symptoms that you're lacking water and your body is not able to convey it to you, because people have different things on their mind. They maybe have some trouble. They're you know, in their own Lula land, you know. Yeah, but you know, that's what, you know, you just keep drinking more often, you know. Get up in the morning, drink a full glass of water, no matter what. Your body needs it because you hadn't had water for 8 hours as long as you're sleeping. First thing you do is drink water, then drink coffee or tea, whatever you want.
Yeah.
But drink a full glass of water, and it helps you other ways. It will be easier for you to go to the bathroom too after drinking water.
Bathroom
Then
and digestion. It cleans if you drink warm water before you eat anything else. If you actually go to the resources and check where they have the mineral water, they always prescribe go to the water tub before you eat, you know, in the morning. The first thing you do, you wake up, you go there, drink some water, and then 30 minutes after you can exercise, you can eat, you know, you can do other things.
yeah,
Very interesting topic today, guys. We have to wrap it up because we are running out of time. If you like this discussion, please give us a like and subscribe for more classes and more interesting discussions with Elena's Barre Teachers community. We are going to make more videos for you. So the next video will be about Melody and Pikia, their background, and maybe a little bit of my background too. We are going to fuse it together. And we will make more yoga classes, and Pikia promised us to make more culinary classes. Pikia, we are looking forward to those, okay? So you just send me the files of the videos, and there will be more classes, guys. And if you have experience with foods and fitness activities, let us know in the comments, okay? We are always happy to hear from you. Your feedback is highly valuable, and we will see you soon. Thank you, Melody. Thank you, Pikia, so much for your hard work, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
See you tomorrow, guys. Yeah.
Mhm.